When you have dry skin, the struggle applying makeup is so real. I have been struggling with dry skin for a while. I had really extreme texture on my forehead, super dry skin around my nose, like flaking, crusty, scaly skin, and this skincare routine plus this makeup routine has given me the most beautiful, juicy, flawless, hydrated looking skin, and if it worked for me and my dry skin, it will probably work for you too, because it was a struggle for me. If you're frustrated that your makeup never looks good because it's clinging to dry patches, it's looking heavy, it's looking cakey, it's aging you, it's okay, watch this video, you will not struggle anymore. Let's get right into it. Obviously, a very, very important part of doing makeup for dry skin is how you prepare the skin for makeup. I've partially prepped my skin for makeup already, but I'm gonna walk you through each and every product that I used. For serum today, I used the Caudalie Vino Perfect Radiance Serum, and this one is so good. I use this one almost every day. I've gone through bottles and bottles of this. Caudalie is one of my favorite brands when it comes to skincare because their skincare is very effective, but it's also very clean ingredients, and I never find my skin gets irritated when I use Caudalie specifically. I'm gonna link this down below and a limited edition set that includes this, the moisturizer, and the eye cream version of this Vino Perfect Radiance line. It's a really good value, so definitely check it out if you've been wanting to try these. Really good for dry skin. What I love about this serum is that it absorbs into the skin really beautifully. It wears under makeup gorgeous. A huge factor for me when it comes to choosing makeup and skincare, especially when my skin is really dry, is how it's going to wear under makeup, because a lot of really hydrating products can pill up underneath makeup, and that's just not what we want at all. So I've tested like a lot of skincare, and this is one of the best serums that I've personally tried. Another one of my favorite serums is this one by Rhode. This is their glazing milk. This one's also really good. I'm almost out of this one, so I'll kind of rotate between the Caudalie and this one. This one's a little bit more slipperier than the Caudalie, so if you struggle with blending out your makeup particularly, this is a really good one because it gives you a bit of a slippery layer so that products just kind of melt into the skin. Now for the star of the show, like I said, I'd been really struggling to find the right routine that will really cater to my very dry skin. I had a lot of flakiness around my nose, like very scaly, flaky skin. My makeup wasn't blending nicely. It was really clinging to dry patches, and I think this product is actually responsible for a lot of the change I've seen in my dry skin over the last couple of weeks. This is the Caudalie Premier Cru cream, and this is such a rich, thick cream, but it doesn't pill under makeup, which is so good. It's so rare. A lot of thick creams, when you wear it under makeup, it just starts lifting up and you have like balls of skincare underneath your makeup, and it just makes your dry skin look even worse. This has never done that for me. I wear this day and night. I can apply a really nice thick layer of this so that my skin is hydrated throughout the day, but my makeup still looks gorgeous. I will show you what my makeup looks like on top of this because this is what I'm wearing right now. This gives me moisture all day long, so if you've been struggling with dry skin, maybe you have a little bit of sensitive skin as well, the ingredients in this are super good and super clean. Highly recommend this product for dry skin. In terms of primers, I don't use primers that often, but I will use this for a glowy base because it's just so good. This is the Say Glowy Super Gel in the shade Star Glow, and just wait till you see this glow. I just do a pump on my fingertip, and I mainly apply this on my cheek area because I want my cheekbones to be really glowy, but I'll apply this a little bit on my forehead as well, maybe a tiny bit on my chin, and then I'll just rub this in with my fingers. This makes your skin look so juicy and glowy because it has very tiny little pearls through it. It's not big like glittery pearls, it just makes your skin look so juicy. And obviously it wears under makeup really well. I've tested all of these products to make sure they do not pill. They work really well together as a system. There is nothing worse than when you go to do your foundation and your skincare just lifts right off underneath. You have to wipe everything off, do your whole skincare over again, and worst case scenario, you don't have time to do that, and you just have to rock a pilly looking foundation and your skin just looks awful. So I'm gonna save you that hassle. This system is amazing. Already my skin is feeling so happy, so glowy, so hydrated. If I wanted to go for more of a no makeup look, but I just wanted my skin to look healthy and not crusty, this is the system I would do, and I would just leave it like this. But since I'm going in with my makeup routine on top of this, I'm gonna spritz a little bit of this Rhode glazing mist on my face. I just find this kind of seals in all of the skincare and gives the skin a little bit more of a slip for applying and blending makeup on top. So I'm just gonna lightly mist the face. You can honestly apply as much or as little of this as you want. For your base, when you have dry skin, you can go one of two ways. You can go really light with a skin tint, or you can go in with a foundation. Typically, I like to go in with a skin tint. I've never really been much of a foundation girly, but I recently discovered discovered a foundation that I think just looks so beautiful on dry skin. This is the House Labs Triaclone Skin Tech Foundation, and I use the shade Fair Cool, and this foundation is just fantastic. I'm going to show you this in action. I love the heavy glass bottle. It's absolutely beautiful, but if you want to opt for something a little bit lighter, a little bit less coverage, more natural, I really love the Milk Makeup Hydra Grip Skin Tint. And I use this in shade 2. This one is really good. It's a hydrating skin tint, but it's a long wearing skin tint. So if you find that skin tints often kind of slip around on your face, makeup doesn't apply on top of them all too well, this one is kind of like a skin tint primer in one. It grips your makeup, but it also grips your skin and it lasts all day. So I love this one. I really recommend it. But today I'm feeling a little extra, so I'm going in with the House Labs. One pump of that is really all you need. I'm just gonna put that on the back of my hand. And I like to start by applying this with my fingers and working it into that skincare we applied underneath. The warmth of our fingers is really just gonna melt this into the skin, and I'm not fully blending this in with my fingers. I'm just kind of like spreading it evenly on my skin before I blend it in with a brush. What I love about this foundation is it gives you coverage without giving you cakiness, which can often be a problem for us dry skin girlies. This gives a glowy, natural finish. It's not too matte, but it's not too glowy either, and it really melts into the skin. I'm using my Hourglass foundation brush to just press this into the skin. I'm just bouncing my brush all over my face. This is gonna prevent any streaking. I feel like this brush just fits into all the right places and blends my foundation so well. I'm gonna link this one down below. Ugh, I just love it. All right, so I've zoomed you guys in quite close so you can see what that foundation looks like. It has not clinged to any of my dry patches whatsoever, and when I tell you I was dealing with such extreme texture on my forehead and around my nose, there is no texture, no flakiness, no cakiness. This foundation is truly incredible, and I don't say that lightly because I don't even really like foundations, but I've just been reaching for this one so often. My skin still looks really plump, juicy, and hydrated. When it comes to concealer, I think a lot of women with dry skin make this mistake. They go in with a super full coverage, heavy, matte, drying concealer, and I just don't think it's necessary all the time. If you are going in with a high coverage concealer, let's say you have a blemish, or you have really dark circles or something more intense that you need to cover up, I would recommend the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. A little bit goes a long way. I call it my magic eraser. This is pretty much the only concealer that I trust to cover blemishes fully, especially when they're really bad. But I'm not using that today. I'm actually going to use a really beautiful hydrating serum concealer. This is the Tower 28 Serum Concealer in the shade BU. And I'm applying this all over my face. This melts into the skin like butter. It has skin-loving ingredients. It's quite hydrating, but it actually stays in place. I do set my face with a little bit of powder, but I will talk about that later on because powders are also really finicky when it comes to dry skin. This concealer isn't full coverage, but it still gives nice coverage. I would say medium coverage. And again, just a natural skin-like finish. I love wearing this on my no makeup days. Whenever I wear this concealer specifically, I have a good skin day. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'll put concealer on and it'll really just ruin the entire look of my makeup. It just looks heavy and ugh, this never does that. All right, so my skin is looking very even, very perfected, but it is looking a little bit flat. So we need to add in some dimension. I'm gonna use some contour. Contour and bronzer, even blush sometimes, they're just one of those things that can cause some real issues for us dry skin girlies. Things like patchiness, clinging to dry patches, being really hard to blend out because your skin is so dry, it just doesn't glide across the skin. This contour, I think, is genuinely foolproof. You can't over apply, it literally melts into the skin like butter. I've never had an issue blending this even on my driest of days. This is the Tower 28 Melting, Bronzing, and Sculpting Stick in the shade Milk Chocolate. And when they added melting to the name of this product, they weren't kidding. Look at how this just melts into the skin. And I've applied this quite liberally, but as you can see, it just melts away into the skin and gives you the most natural, beautiful finish. I know a lot of you struggle with over applying your cream contour and bronzer and you just start looking muddy, but this truly has never done that on my skin. This is perfect for dry skin, but also just perfect for beginners and people who are struggling with this element of their makeup. And it smells like chocolate, so who doesn't love that? And in case you're curious about what brush I was using, I'm using this one by Refi. I use this to kind of tap the initial application out, and then when I've got it kind of blended out roughly how I like it, I go in with the fluffy side and just airbrush it in. It's so quick and easy. Love this brush. This blush is a new discovery for me. I absolutely love it. These blushes have stolen my heart. These are the Juvia's Place Blush Cream blushes. This one's in the shade Peach Please. And as you can see, these pack a punch. A little bit of product goes a long way, but these blend out so easily on the cheek and they give a beautiful glowy finish, but not too glowy that it slips around and just slides right off your face. This will actually last you all day long. I find a lot of glowy, juicy blushes, they just don't last very well throughout the day, and a lot of the time they're not very pigmented. This is the best of both worlds, and the price is right. It's under 20 bucks, available at Ulta, so good. I love a pale peach shade on my cheeks. I just think it looks so good when my skin is so pale like this in the winter months. I know some of you like a blush that is a little bit glowier and juicier, so I have been really loving this one too. This is the House Labs Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm in the shade Glassy Ginger. I'll show you this one as well, layered on top of that Juvia's Place blush, because this is a really beautiful one as well. This one also gives you a nice amount of pigment while giving you that glowy finish. This one is more glowy than the Juvia's Place, but as you can see, it gives you that very glowy, plump looking cheek. You can really see that gorgeous glow it gives the cheeks. It very much accentuates your bone structure. So before I go in with powders, I do like to set my face one more time with that Rhode Glazing Mist. If you notice that there is a little bit of heaviness on the skin and you haven't powdered yet, this is a really great opportunity to use this to melt everything together. This setting mist in particular gives a lot of hydration, so it really makes everything look natural and skin-like and almost as if you're not wearing makeup. I like to spray a good amount of this over my face once again. Now for powder. Okay, a lot of us dry skin girlies, we have beef with powder because it makes us look older, it clings to dry patches, it makes our skin look a little bit more heavy. So oftentimes I notice that women with dry skin will skip powder when I don't think you should. I think you're just not using the right powder, because powder actually has a lot of benefits. It gives your skin a blurring effect, at least it should, and it locks your makeup in place to make it last all day long. I recently discovered this powder and I really do think it's a game changer for my dry skin girls. This is the One Size Boucle Silk Cellulose Airbrush Powder. I use the shade Fair, and the way you apply your powder is just as important as the actual product that you use, okay? The product you use is really important. This one is very light, makes your skin look like skin. It's not too matte, but it's not glowy, so your skin's gonna look greasy or you'll have glitter chunks in it. This is the perfect skin-like finish, but still blurring setting powder. I will show you this in action, but the way you apply it is equally as important, and a lot of women go in with really heavy powders because they want to lock their makeup in place all day because they need to use the more glowy products, so their makeup's more prone to slipping around, and you really don't want to go overboard when it comes to powder. The method that I find works the best is by taking a brush. This one is a fluffy slanted brush. I will link this one down below. And I like to pick up a little bit of powder on my brush, not too much. I like to either tap off the excess or just swirl my brush in the cap of my powder. This way my brush is evenly coated. That's going to prevent any patchiness. And then very lightly, I'm just going to dust that on any areas that are either going to wear off very quickly or that get a little oily throughout the day. The mouth area is usually a pretty high movement area, so I like to really set my smile lines in place and my chin as well, because I just don't want this area to look too greasy. It's not a good look in my opinion. I get a little greasy on my forehead, so I'm going to just put a little bit of this powder in my T-zone. And as you can see, that's not fully mattifying the skin. It's still looking like skin, but it gives a bit of a blurred effect, and you still get the benefits of using a setting powder to lock your makeup in place. And again, I just use this pretty sparingly because I do want to keep the glow. I use a separate powder for under the eyes, so once I've got this kind of just set down in a way that I like it. Oh, this is so nice and blurring. This powder is so good. I'm gonna go in with a second powder. This is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder in the shade Baby Pink. And again, picking up a little bit of that powder on the exact same brush, swirling it in the cap. I'm just going to tap this lightly under my eyes. This is going to lock that concealer in place, but also give us a little bit of brightness, which I personally like. You can use the Boucle Silk powder underneath your eyes, but I like to add a little bit of extra coverage and a little bit of extra brightness to my under eye area. This powder is so finely milled, so it's not going to bunch up underneath your eyes. It's not going to give you a ton of creasing. This is one of my favorites for the under eye area. For the eyes, I want to keep it pretty simple and easy. I want them to look contoured, structured, and lifted. I'm going in with the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Nature Palette. And I'm going to pick up this medium camel-y kind of brown shade here. And I'm picking that up on a Rephr 01 brush. This brush is incredible for adding any structure and definition to the eyes, but also keeping it nice and soft and airbrushed. So let me just show you. I'm applying this sort of like an eye contour. I'm focusing this in the mobile lid and on the outer V of my eye. This is going to give my eyes a nice structured, defined look. This shade is a couple tones darker than my natural skin tone. It's kind of like a bronzer shade. I would stick with something like this for this step. It's going to look really natural and soft, great for everyday wear. And I'm also just taking this along the lower lash line as well. For a bit of definition, I'm just going to take a brown eyeliner. This one is by Swede, and I'm just going to run that along my lash line here. This can be pretty messy at this point. Once you've got that eyeliner applied in a way that you like, I'm mainly focusing mine on the outer sort of half of my eyelid. I then like to take a small pencil brush and I just smoke that right out along my lash line, and then I drag whatever's left into my outer V area. This adds even more structure and contour to the eye. And if you want to soften it out a little bit, just take that same blending brush that we used to apply that brown shade in the crease and blend right on top. Now I want to add a little bit of brightness to my lid. I'm going to go in with the lightest shade in the palette, this one right here. This is a nice creamy shade with some shimmer in it. And taking a Rephr 02 brush, I'm just going to pack that onto my mobile lid. And then for just a tiny bit more definition, I'm going to go in with the darkest shade in the palette, this one right here on a Rephr 03 brush. And really lightly, I'm just going to tap that right on top of that pencil liner we just applied. This is going to lock that liner in place and set that creaminess down. And it's also going to make the color look a bit more rich. I'm also going to connect that outer corner with the bottom lash line slightly here. I want just a little bit extra on my lid, so I want to add a bit of shimmer. I'm going with the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eye Illusion Eyeshadow Duo in the shade In Your Dreams. I'm just going to pick up this lightest shade here on my finger, and I'm just going to tap that in the center of my lid. This is just going to complete the look. Look how high impact that shimmer is. It's so beautiful. And then just taking a clean blending brush, I'm just going to blend everything together. Going in with the MAC Brush Brown Brushstroke 24-Hour Liner in the shade Brush Brown. I'm just adding a little tiny baby wing on my outer corner. This is the best liquid liner I've ever used. It's got a brush tip. It really is foolproof, so beginner friendly. I don't even bother with other eyeliners anymore. This one is so forgiving and easy to use. I just realized my camera stopped recording, but I did just apply a coat of mascara. I used my L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. This one is so good, never clumpy, always just gives beautiful length. It makes the lashes look fluttery. I don't like my lashes to look really like voluminous, honestly. I prefer separation in length instead of like clumpy lashes. I wanted to revisit the skin really quickly and add a few finishing touches. I'm going into my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked in the Deer version. This next step is optional. The blushes I've used today actually stay on the skin pretty well, but if you want to lock your blushes into place, these powders are great. These are not drying on the skin at all, so I'm actually going to use this peachy shade right here, and I'm just going to tap that right on top of that blush we applied earlier. This is just going to prolong the wear of the blush, and it's also going to give us a nice wash of color. These powders are so finely milled, so they never bunch up on the skin. They look so beautiful layered on top of any product, and this color is just so stunning. I'm also going to go in with this bronzer from that palette on a Rephr 05 brush, and I'm just going to brush that on top of this contour to set it in place. A little bit on my cheekbones as well. I love that these powders are so forgiving and they really just preserve the skin's natural glow. They give you this soft lit from within sort of finish. I love them. For highlight, I want my skin to look plump and juicy and effortless. I don't want my skin to look glittery or heavy at all, and a lot of highlighters give that effect, but this one absolutely does not. This is the Victoria Beckham Reflect Highlighter Stick in the shade Pearl, and I'm convinced this is the prettiest highlighter ever to exist. It's so just stunning. I'm going to show you it on the cheeks. I like to pick this up with my finger. I just take a little bit and warm it up on the tip of my finger, and then I just tap it into the skin on the high points of my cheeks. And the way this catches the light and makes the skin look so plump and juicy, oh, look at that. It really accentuates the cheekbones as well. And somehow, for a highlighter balm, this actually lasts on the skin and it never disturbs my makeup underneath. I've tried a lot of highlighter balms that look greasy, that mess my makeup up, and they just slip around all day. This one doesn't. It melts to the skin. It has a very, very subtle shimmer throughout it, like a very, very thin, fine pearl, so it doesn't look glittery on the face at all. It just catches the light in the most beautiful way. If you have dry skin, you probably have dry lips too, and if you're anything like me, you always like to have a lip balm on your lips. My lips are always dry, and I recently discovered this product. This is the Juvia's Place Longwear Lip Liner in the shade Signature, and I love to overline my lips with this. This lip liner stays in place so well. It does not budge when I have my lip balms on top. A lot of lip liners, when you apply a balm on top, it just disappears. This one lasts all day long. I love a pale nude lip, so I'm going in with MAC Myth lipstick in the center of my lips. I'm just gonna tap it in the center and then blend it out very lightly with my finger, and this gives the most beautiful pale nude finish. For gloss, I'm going in with my brand Cheris Cosmetics. This is my water gloss. This gloss is so hydrating. If you have deep lines in your lips like me, this one plumps them and smooths them out so nicely without a burning sensation. It's got a very nice cooling feeling on the lips, like a cool glass of water, and the shine is just next level. I mean, look at that. And this is my go-to makeup routine for when I'm struggling with dry skin. Look how glowy and natural and healthy my skin looks. No cakiness, no heaviness, no dry patches. If you're also a dry skin girly, let me know what products you love down below. You guys are always influencing me to buy your recommendations, so I'll meet you in the comment section. I read all of your guys' comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I want to do a series where I do like maybe oily skin or like tips to make your foundation wear better, just stuff like that. Leave any ideas down below as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.